Meet Gary. Gary is 58 years old. He worked for 34 years straight. Showed up every single day. Paid his taxes. Raised his kids. Did everything society told him was the right thing to do. And last Tuesday, Gary sat down with a financial advisor for the very first time in his life and heard 4 words that shattered everything he believed about his future. You can't retire yet. Gary isn't lazy. Gary isn't uneducated. Gary made the same mistakes that millions of people are making right now, mistakes that feel completely invisible until it is far too late to correct them. Today I'm going to show you exactly what those mistakes are, the hard numbers behind why they're so devastating, and most importantly, what you can do about them before Gary's story becomes your story. Here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody tells you at your first job. Retirement doesn't just happen because you get old. It happens because you built something. And the painful reality is that most people are building almost nothing. The average 50-year-old American has less than $150,000 saved for retirement. Financial experts broadly agree that you need roughly 25 times your annual expenses to retire comfortably. For someone spending $50,000 a year, that's $1.25 million. The average 50-year-old in America is $1.1 million short of that number. That is not a small gap. That is not something you fix by cutting your morning coffee. That is a structural, decade-long problem. And the worst part is that most people have no idea they're living inside it. But because of what I call the retirement illusion. The retirement illusion is the quiet, comfortable belief that because you are working, because you have a 401k, because money is going somewhere every paycheck, you are on track. You feel financially responsible. And that feeling is enough. But feeling on track and actually being on track are 2 completely different things. Gary felt on track his entire career. He contributed to his 401k. He got his employer match. He never checked his balance too carefully because checking felt stressful and not checking felt fine. That feeling of fine cost him his retirement. Let me walk you through the 5 specific disasters that derail retirement for ordinary people who do everything else right. Gary fell into every single one of them. Disaster number 1. The house that ate your future. At 44, Gary and his wife decided to upgrade their home. The kids were teenagers. They had earned it. They moved from a $280,000 house to a $490,000 house. The difference in monthly housing costs was $1,400. That number sounds completely manageable on a decent salary. But $1,400 per month, invested consistently in a diversified index fund over 21 years at historical market returns of 8%, becomes $980,000. Gary didn't spend $1,400 a month on a house upgrade. Gary spent nearly $1 million in retirement wealth on a house upgrade. He just didn't see it that way at the time. Nobody showed him the real number. Disaster number 2. The vehicle vanity tax. Every 4 years, Gary bought a new vehicle. Nothing outrageous, just a reliable, nice SUV. Around $42,000 each time, financed over 60 months. His colleague Mike drove certified pre-owned vehicles. $22,000 every 5 years. Paid cash. Over their working lives, Gary spent an estimated $190,000 more on vehicles than Mike. When you count financing costs, higher insurance premiums, and the pattern of frequent replacement. Mike retired at 62. Gary is still working at 58 with no retirement date in sight. Disaster number 3. Sacrificing your retirement for your child's prestige. Gary's daughter wanted to attend a prestigious private university out of state. Tuition, room, and board came to $58,000 per year. Gary and his wife took out $95,000 in retirement contributions entirely for 3 years during the college period just to manage the monthly cash flow. 3 years of zero contributions in your early 50s doesn't sound catastrophic when you're living through it. But those are 3 of the most mathematically powerful years in your entire savings window. The money you don't invest at 51, 52, and 53 never gets its chance to compound before you need it. Gary's daughter graduated, landed a solid job within 2 years, and was completely fine. She had 40 years of earning ahead of her. Gary's retirement account never recovered. He had 10 years left. Disaster number 4. playing it safe when it was time to swing. At 46, Gary was recruited by a competing company. The offer was $28,000 more per year, but it meant leaving a company where he had seniority, familiarity, and comfort. Gary turned it down. Over the following 12 years, that $28,000 annual difference, had it been invested, would have contributed an additional $620,000 toward his retirement. Gary didn't lose $28,000 by staying comfortable. He lost $620,000. Your 40s are your last real window for meaningful income acceleration. Hiring discrimination is a documented reality that begins affecting workers in their early 50s. The income ceiling arrives much faster than most people expect. Strategic career risk at 44 has 20 years to pay off. The same risk at 54 barely has 10. Disaster number 5. The social spending trap. Gary's neighborhood upgraded over the years. New kitchens. Vacations to Europe. Boats and driveways. Gary and his wife didn't want to fall behind their peer group, so they kept pace. Not extravagantly, just enough to feel normal. That keeping up cost them somewhere between $800 and $1,200 per month over an entire decade in untracked lifestyle spending. Dinners out. Home improvements. Vacations that stretched the budget. Memberships that quietly renewed. No single expense sank them. All of them together did. Let me show you what these 5 disasters look like in cold, unforgiving numbers. Take 2 people. Both earn $100,000 at age 40. Both start with $80,000 already saved. Person A avoids all 5 disasters. They save 18% of their income consistently. They stay in a modest home. They drive used vehicles. They keep contributing through their kids' college years without interruption. Person B falls into all 5 traps. Lifestyle expansion pulls their average savings rate down to 6% through their 40s. They panic at 50 and contribute aggressively at 22% through their 50s trying to catch up. At age 65, Person A has accumulated $1.72 million. Person B, despite saving aggressively in their 50s, has accumulated $640,000. Person B saved more per year in their 50s than Person A did in their 40s, and still ended up with less than half the wealth. This is the number that should stop you cold. Not because it's hopeless, but because it means the decisions you are making right now, today, this year, are the decisions that determine everything that follows. Enough about the problem. Here is exactly what to do based on where you currently stand. If you are in your 20s or 30s, you hold the most powerful asset in all of finance, time. But time only works if you activate it. Set your retirement contribution to at least 15% today and make it automatic. Never touch it. Never reduce it. Never pause it because something else feels more urgent. The habits you build now are the ones you will carry into your 40s. Build them carefully. If you are in your 40s, you are standing at the single most important financial crossroads of your entire life. Run this audit right now. Is your housing cost consuming more than 25% of your take-home pay? Are you financing vehicles worth more than half your annual salary? Did your retirement contributions ever pause, even temporarily, during your kids' expenses? Is there a career opportunity available that could raise your income by $15,000 or more that you've been too comfortable to pursue? Answer these honestly, because every yes to lifestyle expansion in this decade is a direct no to retirement security. If you are in your 50s and you recognize yourself in Gary's story, the margin is thin but the options are real. Every additional percentage point of savings rate from this moment forward changes your outcome. Downsizing your home now rather than in retirement releases equity while you can still deploy it intelligently. Delaying Social Security from 62 to 70 can add more than $100,000 in lifetime benefits depending on your situation. Eliminate every debt before you stop working. Entering retirement with a mortgage is one of the fastest paths to running out of money. Gary's story is not over. Gary found this information at 58. He made significant changes. He downsized his home. He eliminated his debt. He delayed retirement by 4 years and restructured his entire savings approach. His retirement won't look the way he once imagined it, but it will be stable. It will be secure. it will be his. The version of Gary who sat down with this information at 44 and acted on it immediately? That Gary retired at 61 with $1.6 million, a paid-off house, and took his grandchildren to Europe. Same person. Different decade. Different decisions. Your retirement is not determined by the stock market. It is not determined by your employer or the economy or circumstances outside your control. It is determined by you, in the choices you make or fail to make in the next 5 to 10 years. The disaster Gary experienced is preventable. The wealth Robert built is available to you, but only if you begin now. If this video showed you something you hadn't seen before, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe to Invest with Warren for more videos that give you the real numbers behind the decisions that shape your entire financial future. I'll see you in the next one.